Hi, my name is Jesus Ramirez. This video is part of a series of exercises on Project 1324 to help you build your creative skills. In this tutorial, you will learn how to apply a cinematic color effect to your photos with the Lightroom CC mobile app for your iPad, iPhone, or Android phone, which you can download for free on the App Store or on Google Play. If you would like to follow along, you can download the practice image on the page for this video on project1324.com by Adobe. There are no rules on what colors to use or how to use them when color grading. The choice is entirely up to you and the story that you're telling with your photograph. However, in this video, we will focus on recreating the look of a summer blockbuster action film, which tends to use a specific color combination. Blue or teals in the shadows, and orange or yellows in the highlights, especially in the skin tones. In the Lightroom CC mobile app, select your photo. Once you open the image, you will see the edit interface, and across the bottom you will see the editing panels. With Lightroom CC, you are working non-destructively, which means that you can always come back and edit your adjustments. It's always a good idea to get the brightness, contrast, and saturation right before working on creative color corrections. Start with the light panel, tap on it to expand it, and reveal the sliders that control the brightness in your image. Start with exposure to control the overall brightness of the image. The cinematic effect tends to be a bit dark and has a lot of contrast. If you need to reduce or increase the overall brightness of your image, use exposure. Dragging to the left decreases brightness, and dragging to the right increases brightness. I like the original brightness that this photo had, so I'll reset the slider by double tapping on it. The effect that we're going for has a lot of contrast, so I will increase the contrast to make the darker pixels darker and the brighter pixels brighter. Then, you can bring in more detail to the bright areas of your image by decreasing the highlights. In some cases, you may also want to add more detail into the shadows, which you can do by brightening them. But that will not be necessary in this case because we are going for a dark contrast effect. So instead, I will darken the shadows. The whites and black sliders control how dark or bright the darkest and brightest pixels of your image are. There's no need to adjust them in this photo, but if you're following along with a different image, you may have to adjust them. Now it's time to work with the color of the image. I'll open the Color tab by tapping on it. The sliders in this panel control the temperature and saturation. Before you add a creative color correction to your image, you may need to adjust the temperature to remove any unwanted color cast. Drag the temperature slider to the left to cool the image, or to the right to warm it up. This image doesn't have a color cast, so no adjustment is necessary. I'll double tap on the slider to reset it. If you need to saturate your image, start with the Vibrance slider. Vibrance is a smart saturation slider. It protects already saturated pixels and skin tones. I usually don't use the saturation slider since it can easily blow out your colors. Next, we will work with the Effects panel. This panel adds effects to your photo, and this is the panel where we will add the creative color correction, also known as a color grade. Start by increasing clarity, which is contrast in the midtones. Clarity makes your images pop. You can see how much more intense the photo looks, which works great for this effect. You can also add a vignette. A vignette darkens or brightens the edges of your photo to help you bring the viewer's attention to the main subject. Now that the image has the proper lighting, contrast, and saturation, we can work on creating the actual color grade. Tap the split tone button. This control allows you to apply a color to the shadows and highlights. Remember that for this tutorial, we're using the blue and orange color combination. I like to start with the shadows, so tap and drag the shadows color picker and move it over to the blue area of the color gradient. Then tap and drag the highlights color picker to the orange area of the color gradient. And by making those simple adjustments, we've already applied the color combination for the cinematic color effect. At this point, all you need to do is fine-tune the image. You can use the balance slider, which helps you determine what is a shadow and what is a highlight. For this image, the default balance works great, so I'll double tap on the slider to reset it. When you're happy with your results, just tap on the Done button. You can tap and hold on the screen to see the before image, and release to go back to your working image. When you work with your own images, remember that the colors of the photo are important. If you were to use a bright red background for this effect, then you wouldn't get a similar result. So when you take your photos, keep the colors of the objects in the scene in mind. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and give it a try with your own images. You can easily apply professional effects to your photos, and the best part is that you can do it all on your mobile device for free. Don't forget to share your results on project1324.com. Also, check out the other videos in this series to help you build your creative skills. My name is Jesus Ramirez. Thank you so much for watching.